What's up guys, it's Dylan from Mabfield here, and I'm here today to bring you my top 10 Irish hip-hop projects of the year. And in 2018, Irish hip-hop really grew to a new level. We're seeing more people creating music, collaborating and bringing out new projects than ever before. The scene's growing really quickly and it's really great to see. So the top 10 list is going to showcase work of a lot of the artists who have working really hard over the last year and some really great projects. I'm going to provide some commentary, but it's not exhaustive critique, more just some comments on what I think was good and what I think was bad about the album. With no disrespect to Reggie Snow, I decided to omit his album from this list just because I want to focus on artists that are working within Ireland. So yeah, for the purpose of this list, I decided not to put Dear Annie on it. Great album, loved it, but I'm going to be using other albums for this list. So yeah, let's get started. In at number 10, we've got Dublin's Nilo. So Nilo's brought out his EP October Year. He's worked on some other types and genres of music before, but this is his first step into hip hop. It's short but sweet, four track EP. Really dives into relationships, drugs, alcohol, mental health in general, and some of the things that a lot of us struggle with. That's the real strength of this EP, is the honesty and storytelling value to it. However, the downsides of it for me were that it was a bit one-dimensional. Some of the bars were pretty good, but the flow was a bit one-dimensional and it got a bit stale towards the end. The storytelling, however, is super engaging and you really do believe the words that he's saying. And I'm really excited to hear what other stuff he's got coming out. Standout track for me on that is the self-titled track, and that would be October Year. So that's number 10. Coming in at number 9, we've got Glacier Gang's Invader Slim. Slim really found his lane in 2018, and that gritty, dark trap sound that he procures, I really feel like he's leading the way in Ireland at the moment for that. Invader Slim dropped Slim Tunes earlier in 2018. It's the sort of thing you expect to hear in like a underground basement club. I think for Slim it's more about experimenting a wee bit more, because some of the ad-libs became a bit repetitive towards the end. The hooks became quite repetitive as well. However, overall as a project, there's some really nice songs in there. Standout track for me was Greyhound. The hook is really fucking catchy. I felt throughout the project sometimes that the delivery was a bit left to be desired. However, I think with a bit more experimentation, work on some of the hooks, there could be some really good stuff coming out next year. And at number 8, we've got Belfast Leo Miyagi, and Leo dropped Bluebird earlier this year. It's one for the hip-hop purists. A couple of the songs sound something straight off the East Coast. The standout song for me was Akula Lake, and that sounds like something you'd hear straight off Souls of Mischief. Some really nice bars, poetic, melodic flows. He recruits Arcane Soaks on a couple of the songs, and you can tell there's some real chemistry there. I think Leo's got some real clear direction in the way he wants to go with his music, and he's really developed his style. The only issue for me with the album was some songs actually felt a bit unfinished and needed fleshed out a bit more. It felt a bit skeletal at times. The progression from some of the earlier stuff to now is just crazy. So he's only 21. There's a lot of time to develop. Leo supported Open Mike Eagle earlier this year at the Sugar Club, I believe, in Dublin, and he's one of them guys, got real energy about him. His stage presence is incredible, and if you get the opportunity to see him live, you don't miss it. He's really great live. So at number 7, we've got the Recess EP from Pat Lagoon from Waterford and Dublin's very own Rickshaw. So this collaborative effort was really hyped up throughout the whole time. The rollout was great. The artwork for it's absolutely amazing. All the songs are bangers. The hooks, the flows, all really catchy. The production, the style, the delivery is all super consistent, and it's mixed really well. It's just a really clean project. I get the concept of Recess. You're the new school, bringing a new wave of music through. And I remember Pat Lagoon was one of the first people to send me music on Twitter earlier this year when I started sharing music. If you compare his music from then to now, the development is absolutely crazy. If you look at his Love Bites single compared from then to the Recess EP, the development from Pat Lagoon and how much he's grown in this year is crazy to me. He's been working a lot with Wongy and Rickshaw this year, and I think if you work with people and you have a good working relationship with, it really starts to shine through in the work. It's about feeling comfortable with people and, that natural chemistry, and it really does shine through in this. Standout song for me is New Rules. Really thoroughly enjoyable project and pretty cohesive as it goes. So I'm pretty excited to see what comes through next for those guys. Number 6 comes from Cork Speculative Fiction, and for me this Effigies EP is severely underrated. I've hardly heard many people talk about it this year. The concept, the production, the style, the tone, it all really carries through and it's really consistent. I get sort of graveyard vibes from it. Dark, dusty drums throughout, twisted, harrowing production, especially in that first opening track, Lock All Doors. Speculative Fiction really picked this one feature on this project really carefully. Joan and DK came through and it was almost wiki-like vibes, really gritty, raw rapping and that sort of twisted vocals. It was class. Lyrically it's quite strong, some really tight bars, and again Mankey's lo-fi cryptic, almost otherworldly production really shone through in this and really carried the mood throughout. Speculative fiction came through with some thoughtful topics and wordplay throughout, for example on Google. Overall, loved the project. In at number 5 we've got Word Up Collective's JLOL, and this guy's flow is just insane. He's teamed up with Chris Cabs on this project, Me and Me Too, and some of the flows are just absolute fire. For hip hop purists, he brings everything that is quintessentially hip hop. He brings fast flows, tight wordplay, braggadocious bars, everything's there. If you can take one thing away from this EP, listen to Oh Lord. It's got a feature from Iron Unknown, and it's like bouncy, swinging drums. The only very minor quibble for me would be the sort of questionable vocals on some of the hooks, but I can let that slide. It's a really great project otherwise. I'm not sure if there's someone technically better than JLOL in the whole of Ireland at rapping. Feel free to disagree, but if you listen to the Me and Me Too freestyle, he just goes so fucking hard. In at number 4 we've got West Belfast's Kneecap. The mixtape is called 3CAG. They look at life in West Belfast through the eyes of these 3 characters they've developed. The West Belfast trio is made up of Mo Chara, Mowgli Bap and DJ Provo, all in Irish, apart from when they decide to switch back for comedic effect. One of the hooks is Stroke of Sainsbury's Trolley. It's all a bit tongue-in-cheek, it's really enjoyable, a bit more fun, different from a lot of the other projects I'm reviewing here. It's a bit more lighthearted. And it's super original as well. I haven't seen anybody do something like this. Don't let all this distract you from the fact that they're actually pretty talented guys and that the flows they bring and the production is all really top class. They incorporate elements of Irish folk music into jazz rap. It's really enjoyable project. So now we're coming to the top 3 projects, and this was really difficult to choose, but coming in at number 3 we've got Nonce's Magnus, and the first time I listened to Rage and Chill EP, I didn't know what to make of it. It's eclectic, experimental. The title itself is a juxtaposition, Rage and Chill, and that sort of foreshadows what comes throughout the EP after that. The various different types of music really should clash, but somehow he manages to blend them so seamlessly. The tempo changes constantly, but it doesn't feel like difficult to listen to. There's not a dull moment throughout this. It's hard to nail it down into one genre or subgenre, but he borrows elements from electronic, house, hip hop, and it's a really beautifully produced, mixed, mastered EP, all done by himself. And I've heard some lazy comparisons, and I don't really want to box him in. But right from the offset in this EP on Drive-Thru, he creates this sort of immersive experience where the police are coming, sirens are going, if you're listening to this on some good headphones or good speakers, you can just sort of get lost in. Nonsense is bringing out some of the most experimental and interesting work out of Ireland, period. So yeah, coming in at number 2, we have Taxi Club by 7th Obi, wholly produced by LHK, and this combination is just amazing. The guys have come in with a really futuristic sound. The artwork and the rollout for the whole project was amazing. It's a really coherent project, and the opening track Space Time has a real cinematic quality to it. The final track RIP AK closes it out really nicely, but the middle, you sort of feel like you're being brought throughout space and time, like through a warped reality. And the album artwork and the imagery they brought through on social media before and during the rollout really added to this sort of immersive experience, really. And you can tell the hours they put into it. Some real quality 808 heavy production on this thing. On first listen, I thought it was going to be straight bangers, no lyrical depth, but actually on Travis Bickle brings some real thoughtful content, and it shows that he does have that versatility and he can go a bit more in depth into other topics. It actually really grew on me initially because maybe I wasn't used to the sound. The length of it is actually another strength of it because it's still really engaging even though it's a similar sound throughout. It's just a really clean, well produced project with vocals and hooks that just have you singing along. It's a really good piece of work. And finally, in at number 1, we have Kojak's Delhi Daydream. This album is brilliantly pieced together. The features are picked impeccably. The production is top notch, and the attention to detail is incredible. The range of sounds, you've got those sort of jazz loops in Bobby's Cream, heartfelt ballads in Eviction Notice, the banging beats in Politics is, it has its lighthearted moments too. In Love and Braggadocio, he's got that skit with a guy where they're back and forth. I think Kojak really takes advantage of that trend that's developed recently of having shorter, more concise albums. Hip-hop's renowned for its bold, braggadocious sound. It's rooted in rivalry and competition, and really refreshing to hear an album where it's more about emotions, love, laying your emotions bare on the page. I could talk about this album for a long time, but I'm sure most of you have heard of it, but if you haven't, you have to listen to it. Yeah, that's rounding off the top 10 with Kojak in at number 1. Yeah, hope everybody enjoyed. So that was your top 10 Irish hip hop projects of the year. Just gonna put in the description below a link to all the projects on Spotify or SoundCloud, and really appreciate if you'd subscribe if you haven't already and hit the like button. And yeah, thanks very much for watching.